Share this video. This is the kind of video people like to be at live. They like to comment on it while it's happening and it's hot. Hey, TikTok, all you know, let the people know we coming for them tonight.
We don't plan for the road, man. We don't think about plan for the road, man. We don't make no plan for the road, man. Everybody show me a hand for the road, man. When all the things are, hey, hey, right now all the things are. Like the road, the love who is in charge. Marshall is the real boss. Everybody jump to the left, 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 to the left. Everybody jump to the right, 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 to the right. Now everybody jump right there, right there, right there. I am the monk, I am the king. Most of all, I am the doctor. Tell them all, Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one, oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look, oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one, oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. Music is bigger than me, music is bigger than you. I don't have time to compete, I don't have no time to feud. But if they want a shot, to see who can mash up this shot, Marshall gonna beat them bad, body, body, body. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one, oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one, oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. I was the voice to respond, but the voice to the top this one. Every year they sing it this good song. Oh water, water, hand. Come estimate them things for man. Why you talking so sad and job? Crying and complaining, but last year take the next like come on. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. We up this one. Oh Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. They want to see more mash up. 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 Mash up, you see me mash up. Hey, what's the name of Dr. Mash up? When they call me Dr. Mash up. What's the name of Dr. Mash up? When they call me Dr. Mash up. What's the name of Dr. Mash up? When they call me Dr. Mash up. The Dr. Mash up. I am the doctor. Tell them all, Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. You up this mash up, Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look. Mash up, Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. You up this mash up, Lord, you up this mash up, mash up. Everything shall look.
One of my long-standing advisors is a fellow by the name of Ian Griffith. And I respect the man's mind. Ian Griffith has a critical mind. And Ian tell me, Phillip, you must leave some of your powder dry. You see, tonight, I ain't using all my powder. I tell the man, I tell his handlers, I tell Kamla. The other day, they gave me vex. The other day, after our Palmis walkabout, they went and talked a set of shit to Newsday. Newsday went and published it. And I tell them, all you have till tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and I'm going to pull the whole show down. In less than 15 minutes, Newsday pulled that article. And all of them sitting on pre-action protocol letters right now. And I tell myself, we reached a place where they understand, listen, do not poke the bear. I am not provoking you. When you say things as a politician that is nonsense, I have a responsibility. People telling me, Rowley is the common enemy. Rowley is my enemy. Rowley has been my enemy. The PNM has been my enemy. I am in court with the whole PNM. They suing me. The financiers suing me. I there, not Gary, not Sugar Sweetness. When Sugar Sweetness sit down in Harry back house and plot for Kamla, Kamla forget? You think Anil forget? He destroy Anil's entire reputation. He destroy Anil completely. Anil holding on. When people say Douglas politics, Kamla, you swallow back your vomit. Is Anil you went for after live sport? How come they never prosecute Anil? Why not ask Mr. Commissioner? You are the man who pulled down Anil, and then you was commissioner for 3 years. How come nobody in the UNC asked you that? How come Sweetness Marsha asked you that? Marsha Walker, how come you ask him? You want me to tell him how you know him? You want me to share that information? Listen, I can do this all day long, you know. You want to play with me? I am the wrong man. I keep telling you all, I am not the one. I don't get invited to Syrian wedding and Syrian christening because I am not the one. I will bust your files. Normal. I ain't like Gary, you know, going on video talking about, I have thing I could share about Rowley and pull down the whole government. How come you ain't share it yet? How come you ain't share it yet? Your whole party boss, you can't, you're lucky you had a handful of friends, or the NTA would have stand for not that ass. Nobody wanted to join your party. Everybody, when they see the NTA, you outside there giving people party nickname, you know what it is called, NTA? Not that ass. You had a pose with your wife and your 3 children. Why? Because you have nobody else. Nobody want to be a part of your party. Even Peter George hiding right now, playing the fighting rowdy about flower prices. Where your crowd? Where your 89%? Where all the people who say they want you? You're the best police commissioner. How come no police officer agreeing with that? How come they don't have a single police division in this country that's standing up and saying bring back Gary? How come the only people who want to bring back Gary is a handful of 1% and some middle class people that you fool with this stand your ground bullshit Kamala sharing? Kamala, let me talk stand your ground. Why you fire Gary? Tell the people. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute to come up. Why you fire him? Let me talk, because I will talk Saturday. I will tell them why you fire Gary Saturday at 8 o'clock. Wrong man.
Don't free them. Running for your life. Don't free them. Never put up us bed. People they melting like they want to bust bed. No matter what they do, they not go down to them. We they getting up like they want to come for them. Soldier that come for them. Right now I'm feeling the tension. And it's too much donation. It's all my attention. Only feel. Of everything you accuse me. And all the things you accuse me. But now you cannot refuse me. Only feel. I was born in a village. I learned my opinion. Where God was forgiven. So I'm mentioning the next thing. I was born as a warrior. Father was a sick fighter. So why is not the push over? Now we're fighting back.
And I want to say this. In your release, I'm going to read your release. You put out a release and you call me name. You know you look stupid in your blue and yellow shirt. You know you look like you're begging UNC for support. You don't even stand with your own colors. You're talking about my orange is a washout red. You stinking dirty ass. Why you settling for blue? Because they had no colors left and nobody cared to stay and say, let me plan. What is the meaning of blue? Ask Nicole, which is 19 degrees in communication. Why the party color blue? I can tell you, bridge, light. Miss me with the bullshit now. You want to talk about my party colors? Look, let me read your release now, man. We is washout red. The only thing all you have to share, the only thing you and Weekend at Bernie's Kamala, I tell in Trinidad and Tobago, make sure all your black clothes iron. What they doing, Kamala, she ain't sure to survive. Or you could end up walking slow. I watch you, woman. When he walking with her, and he blow on yellow shirt stunting. Why you could stunt? Who was... They have some information as I say, keep my powder dry. I could talk about Rudal and all you do Rudal after. I want to ask about Anan. You say you're forgiving. You say you're in a forgiving mood. You say you and the UNC forgiving each other. You say what? Let me tell you, let me read it for them now. Let me read it for them, right? Because I put out a video. You know what? Let me play the video. Let me get all of it on the table.
Imagine a you ask a question to you.
There we go.
If she read what we had, the ultimate. Imagine a prime. You ask a question to the Prime Minister. How often have you been in your office on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the 5 years? Not one day. Not.
That is Kamala Prasad Bisesa, National Security Advisor, Minister of National Security, bad talking her to Jack Warner of the ILP. That is what is happening here. This is Mr. Forgiveness, And I'm going to tell you how we reached to here. I will tell you how we throw the Congress and the people under the bus to get our work. But stick up in. You see, his entire career has been climb up on other people's back and up on other people's head. Saturday for you, brother. Saturday for you. But let me hear you now. Tell them what you... I want them to hear what you're forgiving. You was a commissioner of police. You accused the woman of marijuana in her possession. You and Jack forgiving that, but you was a commissioner of police. So all them little black hen chicken, all they lock up for weed. Let them go tonight now.
So imagine you're a prime minister running a country, and your weekend is from Friday to Wednesday for 5 years.
So you tell the people when you was against Kamala that her weekend was from Friday to Wednesday. And you're telling the people you're against Rowley that his weekend is golf. Why not tell them about yours? Why does be down the islands, brother? Why not tell them who your weekends has be with? Why not tell them who's your posse?
Not one day has she spent a day, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday in her office. She comes up to Port Spain Wednesday night, goes in cabinet, goes in parliament, stays in her office. She then go inside parliament, she spends about 10 minutes if she had to talk or vote, and then goes back south. Her weekend is from Friday night to Wednesday night. Monday to, I don't think it's the records there. But when you tell a country that you want to come for another 5 years and you want to have a 5-day weekend.
Kamala, when you was young and strong, you had a 5-day weekend. Now you're tottering. Now you're plugging. Now every night they have to rinse you. What are you going to say about you if you don't get what you want now? You know what you do? You know what you do opening your weak and broken party to this man? Who only bad talk you for Rowley when he needed Rowley. Now he bad talking Rowley to you because he need you. But he can't form a party. He can't form a line by himself.
So we have enough, you and I have enough amount everyone to let you know, look, you can't play hardball with us.
This is how the man does move. Them playing hardball. Them negotiating their way through the politics. Listen to what they want all to vote for, eh?
If the thing that we have there, that we discovered in the house. Yeah.
Not plant-like substance, he said, though. Not plant-like substance. He said, conclusively, the marijuana. Let me give it to you again.
If the thing that we have there.
Wait.
5-day weekend.
Hear how he boss up his former leaders, Dukaran and Prakash, right there back to get into the UNC ministry. Hear this.
So we have enough, you and I have enough amount everyone to let you know, look, you can't play hardball with us. The same Dukaran and Prakash you play with.
If the thing that we have there, that we discovered in the house. Yeah. I wish we have not been in public yet.
A few moments.
Let me tell you something. I have the whole uncut video. And I'm playing the whole uncut video Saturday. Those who come in to tell me, give me partner room to run, watch me. Give me a wide berth. I have no interest in your advice. I want to tell you this. Mr. Gentleman wrote, because I shared our video, because you need to know who you're dealing with. All you could say about me is you're saying eyes are PNM? Eyes are PNM? Are you fighting PNM when you was in your hairy back house eating? Eyes are PNM? When you was commissioner of police and Syrian could have wedding and Syrian could party in Bayside, but Chancellor Hill could get locked up and Kokori Charon could end up on the belly singing songs for Gary? Eyes are PNM? When you went down on Western Main Road to pull Marsha Walker campaign off the road in 2020, who you do that for? Me? Eyes are PNM? Go and ask all your PNM who are fighting in court. Go and ask them, brother. You want to talk shit for them and put out release? I go and say a release. I go and say a release here. I go and say a release Saturday. I'm going to put your release in the lawyer's hands and I will put out a release of my own. Do not try to hurt people with lies who could destroy you with the truth, brother. Don't do that. This is troublesome times for my country. And you just in this politics trying, who you wanted was to be commissioner. That's what you wanted. And when Rowley pulled back the merit list, you throw a tantrum. And your former party, you and Peter George, all the way and win. 89%. You win the polls. You throw up on the place. We have a party. Come and join. Nobody come. Nobody. Why, brother? Why all them politicians that you knew as a politician, as a minister, as a commissioner of police. What it is, all of them know that keep all of them from joining you. Why not Vassant, not Mariano, not Devon, not one of these serial hop, skip and jumpers? Nobody. Not one single politician of value. Who you get? Show them who you get. Ghassan Youssef, who bored home, retired after being a UNC mayor. So he looking for a work. He looking for something to put him out in, posting shit on Facebook. Who you get? Lorraine Pouchet, UNC B team, COP B team. Lorraine, who was the NCC deputy commissioner. That's who you get. Why don't I ask Lorraine, when she had a family member in the St. James Medical Center and she needed to get that person an ambulance to get them moved to another hospital, who she called? She didn't call Kamala. She didn't call Keith. She didn't call Gary, who was the Minister of National Security, who had command of the fire service. She called Phillip Alexander, and Phillip fixed it. Every single member of the NTA, from Gary go back, know what Phillip will fix it mean. This son of a bitch, thirsty for a government work, and playing he coming at my name, brother, wrong man, boy. Wrong man. Ask Paul Daniel now, when Derek Chin fired him the other day, who's the person he went to talk to? Who? You? You, Gary? You his leader? No, me. Phillip Alexander. Every single person, when Errol Fabian, when your police was throwing Errol Fabian children shit in the road, who helped Errol? Who saved Errol house? You, Gary? No, me. Last election 2020, when Nikolai Edwards party stalled and collapsed, who, he and the three members used to come to their office every single day? You, Gary? No, me. Progressive Empowerment Party. I can do this all day. When Tim Timal was just a purveyor of porn on social media, when I was getting things done, long before I even had a political party, when they wanted the pothole behind his house fixed, who they call, Gary? You? No, Phillip. And Phillip fixed it. Your entire party. The only one I know is Insaf Ainektola. I don't know him and Farhan. I know where you pull them two out from, but they're having a time. And they go, bounce up the Phillip that people has warned them about. The other day, Insaf put my name in his mouth, and I gave him 24 hours. He called people that are mutual friends of him and was just a purveyor of all people who are mutual friends of his and mine. Ask them to tell me to give him a blind. You know, I don't want to be putting everybody's business in the road. I don't want this to be a story tonight. I really don't want to care about what you do. I know the UNC going on bus. I know Weekend at Bernie's. I know Tuttering Kamala and Exhume Jack and Gavin Nicholas, who have Kamala to thank for pulling him out of obscurity. Nobody ever knew who Gavin Nicholas was, and she gave him an ambassador high commission work, and then she bring him back and give him a Kobo sweat as minister, as attorney general, when you, Gary, was instrumental in having her choice of attorney general fired. Annan forgiving you, Gary? Is Annan in the forgiveness business? The case gone away? I don't think so. But let me read it because you all heard, right? NTA and UNC supporters are uniting at the polls on August 14 and there's nothing that can be done to stop it. Nope, nothing at all. That bullshit ship sailing. But there's nothing nobody can do to vote for it either. No one is interested, Gary. When Rudal Munilal on stage, somebody responded to my putting up the picture and say that was a counselor, that was a candidate, having that meeting. That was the Rudal Munilal. Don't go on no candidate stage. That is when Rudal Munilal was on stage talking about Camille Robinson Regis weave and Tim Gobisane, and Ravi Ratiram, and Gary Griffith, and the rest of the Hullabaloo squad was in the front row, and from the row behind them, go back empty. Nobody come into your meetings, brother. You all have to pack a set of people, bust people in blue shirts, and put them to wave flags unenthusiastically when you was talking your bullshit. You know how to chain up the media. You know how to chain up the media with the polygraph talk and thing. I leaving you on Rowley to fight all this shit. But like he don't take you on anymore. But anyway, the level of excitement by the PNM and the Orange B team over an 8-year-old voice recording is laughable as well as telling. I want to tell you this. You know what is laughable? Mr. Pre-Action Protocol letter himself, who sued Rhoda Barrett. He couldn't sue nobody for this. So he had to come and pretend. When me and Jack was talking about Kamala being drunk and needed to recover for the whole long weekend, and she needed her 5 days to dribble in she bed. When we catch them with weed in the house, she ain't know who we is, you know. We go ride for she. It's not like Dukaran and Prakash Ramadan. That is how they were talking. He is saying, that was just a spat. That spat was the beginning of the end of the UNC. Gary plot for all you. Gary plot with the PNM for all you and pull your government down. In 2015, the PNM was playing a game called Hi, I Want Trinidad and Tobago. I got the information. They was playing a game called High, Low, Jack game. And the game they were playing was to get rid of the UNC strong members. Get rid of Jack, get rid of Anand, get rid of Anil, and get rid of Munilal. That was the game. That was what the PNM was playing. I want to tell you all something. I sat on a round table with Faris Al-Rawi and Paul Daniel Naus and the rest of civil society and listened to the PNM and the unions plot. I listened to Ansel Roger and Keith Rowley plot for Kamala. Gary, tell them how you end up as part. Anyway, save that for Saturday. And for clarification, this is what he says. The laziest prime minister by far is one who's on a golf course 4 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So he can't say, he didn't say, Kamala wash out, she lazy, she need to recover from the binges. He can't say that. So now he had attacked Rowley. But he only attacking Rowley because Rowley didn't give him the commissioner work. All of this that's happening between the NTA and the UNC is Gary is throwing a tantrum. Rowley break his heart. Rowley embarrass him. Rowley slap him up and beat him and embarrass him. And Gary, in his usual tempestuous style, has thrown a tantrum of national proportions and formed a party with Peter George, who tried this same national transformation because he had a pact, a party called Pact with Horace Mahara and a bunch of other fellas who was trying to do, and a bunch of them former PNMs, and they was trying to do the same transformation bullshit and fail. Peter George failed at this before. And Gary con all of them with his 89% approval. You see, to be a police commissioner in Trinidad is not hard if you're prepared to pick the low-hanging fruits and boast about it. We didn't fix nothing. Nothing was solved. Crime was still epic. Murder was ridiculous. Now, they could argue, you had more murders than us. Fair. Like that is a competition to win. But at the end of the day, somebody said to me, if you fix something and you leave, it's not supposed to fall apart. It fix. What you may have said is that your presence is required to make it lower. I don't know what that means. But you never fix nothing because the fact that the murder rate went back up right after you left meant that there was nothing in place fixing anything. Not my circus, not my monkeys. But the whole plot to get the senior members, to get Jack, to get Anil to get Annan. You see the PNM that get licks in May 2010. And it was May and June. They get licks again. Local government, more licks again. And they couldn't recover. In 2012, 2 years after, Keith Rowley called a public meeting on Bonds Road in Western, in St. James. And nobody came. They had some members of the Fat Ass Brigade in the front row. But nobody came. PNM bus. The PNM needed to go. And I want to tell you this, the PNM media couldn't go after Annan. They couldn't. They used to say shit, but they couldn't go at him the way that they ended up going at him. And a lot of people, Kamala, have to answer, Kamala, you in this forgiveness thing too? Or you just riding Gary as a desperate soul? Because all of the people that have left and are leaving leaves you only with a failed politician, wannabe commissioner, Gary Griffin. That is all you have now. Is that what the UNC that you fought to keep is supposed to be? Why don't you retire, Kamala, and let somebody young and vibrant run the party? Somebody with political acumen. But anyway, Mr. Mann in his release, and it exposes for all to see who is working side by side with Keith Rowley. Brother man, come on. You was Rowley's darling. You was doing Rowley's business. You had police mashing up people protest, kick away all their burning tire, and you called press conference and said there will be no more protests. Not on my watch. If they don't afraid God, they're afraid Gary. Remember that shit? People couldn't protest. People couldn't go in the savannah. The UNC people couldn't go in the savannah and protest. The little fella in UA who was protesting, who only went and kneel in that boy's neck and his face, that little black child. Why didn't do that to Syrian? Why didn't do that to Sabga or Hadid or Aboud? That little dreadlock black child. You could kneel, you could send police to kneel on him. When they sent earlier to dispatch people during lockdown, those people could dispatch, but not Bayside. Stephen Rees camp outside a Syrian wedding and share the information. How the rest of the country can celebrate Mother's Day. You can't go and kiss your mother for Mother's Day. But that could happen. Who get them permission? Who closed Bayshore? Who get them permission to close Bayshore? But I do understand their worry and concern though. And you know why people just tell me don't talk about this? Because nobody reading this, is not saying forwarded or forwarded many times. It's just somebody had it and they share it with me. But he's saying any differences between those opposed to the PNM have been mended and it is going to remain cemented into the general election and when we get into government. Now, I'll tell all of this. The PNM is Trinidad's problem. But the UNC and Gary Griffith, Tusty man, Tusty for work, that is not the solution. And anytime you want to see how incompetent Gary Griffith is at anything other than national security, go and watch the cutters Felicia Holder put on him in Paul Richards' Power 102, 1 of 3 debates. There was going to be a 2 and a 3 after the first one. But Gary gets so much licks from Felicia Holder that the Not That Ass party has pulled out. And they're not going to be part. There's no more. There's no number 2 debate. There's no number 3. The NTA and the UNC and all the other parties have conceded that the Progressive Empowerment Party beat 3 parties, MSJ, Hope, and NTA, that ganged up on us. We beat all 3 to the point where at least one member, I have it screenshotted and saved, one member said after, you all have my vote. A member of the other party. said to the PEP, you're one of the debaters. Gary run for the hills. You know what you didn't see? You didn't see Tim Timal putting out a release about we beat them, we mash them, nothing. Quiet. You didn't see Farhan. His name Saran, Farhan, whatever his name is. Oh, they watch this, eh? Watch this. Watch this. You didn't see that. You didn't see Jenny C. Paul Gayadine, who's posted as Jens Paul. You didn't see her sharing it. Hey, look at this. Look at this. You can't. You didn't see Amy Crum. You didn't see Amy Crum saying, Abs boy, licks in the debate. You didn't see Inshan skinning up the Bamsi hole on IBN. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. You didn't see none. Not Errol Finn. None of that. You know why? Because the PEP beat all three. And that was a quiet little earthquake that told them that the Progressive Empowerment Party is not in this for shits and giggles. It is not a one-man party. And anytime you want to come again, we will hand you your lunch again. Because the entire country cannot be run by people who believe that once you could lock it up and lock it down, you could win. You can't lock it up and lock it down for flooding, or for drought, or for bad education, or poor health care. You can't. At some point, his relevance only exists when there is crime, when there is murder. Somebody says the undertaker is the only person happy for death because he's make money. There are people who benefit from crime in this country, reputation or financial or otherwise, who are happy that we have crime. Because without it, they're irrelevant. You can't talk about nothing else. You can't fight for nothing else. You can't make a point about nothing else. You don't understand the economy. You can't turn it around. You don't have a policy. The Progressive Empowerment Party launched January 18, 2017 with a policy handbook, www.21policies.com, that not only has it not changed, but both the PNM and the UNC have been pilfering it. And Saturday night, I walk in with the manifestos and I ask him, well, Lockjack, in 2020, in 2030, Lockjack, where these policies that you all only announcing, Rowley, only announcing these policies since the PNM form, UNC and PNM. A man tell me, I watch Fazal on a platform reading PEP policies, normal. We watch Kamala copy a PEP release and share it. The only thing she changes my name. Lucky she changed my name. No, Gary. And I'm sorry. And for all the people who disappointed because they thought that you brought something to the table and they thought that you and I was going to link up and give them something true, something new. No. Because yes, we could have used your national security ability. We have proper healthcare officials. We have one of the best epidemiologists in the world for a minister of health that will safeguard this country from artificial lockdowns and forced imprisonment by the government. Like Terence Dial Singh and his band of complicit doctors who facilitated that criminal act against the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But we're going to stick up in there too. But we have people, we have the best person at managing road traffic in the Western world as our Minister of Transport. We have proper engineers as our Minister of Works. So yeah, you could have got a job as Minister of National Security or Police Commissioner, no problem. You could have come and do that. But you see, the Progressive Empowerment Party would have done something neither the PNM nor the UNC could do. And that is to end crime. And we would end crime by removing the human resource of crime and by removing the need for crime. We have a social development master plan that will leave no citizen behind. We will make sure everybody can have a job, and everybody who has a job and wants to own a home could, not HTC bullshit, proper, based on your value, own a home. We will finance you, not through Republic and Royal and Scotia and First Citizens, but a proper banking system set up to facilitate home ownership, not building fake 100,000 house to sell to the taxpayers for $1 million from your finances. Man who's selling cloth, 3 generations, PNM get them to build house. And house falling apart, house twist. Man drive through Miaro and see 500 house built. And it in the bush. Nobody know about it. They have school in Museum. They have health center in Maclot. They have all kind of hundreds of millions of taxpayers' dollars. Like the hundreds of millions of taxpayers' dollars spent by the 1% car importers, while they have hundreds of millions more rusting away. Because taxpayers are on a treadmill. We're on a treadmill. And as long as the government could link up with somebody, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy that. One for you, one for you, one for me. And as long as they could do that, the taxpayers have to foot the bill. The Progressive Empowerment Party will change that. We will end that. And you know what caused that release? I'll tell you what caused that release. Because the only thing that Kamala and Gary could say about me is because I do not want to join with them, that I am obviously a part of the PNM. But there's life outside the bullshit of the racist, corrupt parties. And Gary would know that if he had the ability to form a real political movement. Gavin Nicholas has a political party of one man. He ran for election in 2020 with 2 of his Diego Martin friends. They was drinking, shooting some tequila, and somebody say, hey, election call, let me go up now. Gavin say, yeah, there we go. Because he was bored too, he had nothing to do with his life. It's not like he had anything going on. So the 3 of them run for elections and all 3 lost. So this time Gavin thinking that he continued MND. And the other 2 of them said, boy, what the ass wrong with you? You still drunk? We was drunk, now we sober. So when Kamala talking about the ILB and the MND and the NTA as a partnership, those are 3 organizations that are defunct and devoid of any substance. It is still just the failing UNC. They have nobody of substance, nothing that has joined them that actually has members to bring to the table. And the public is fed up of both the PNM and the UNC. I am going to put an end to the conversation with me and Gary Saturday. I will put everything I know in the public space. I will put it all out there. So you will know. I got the first phone call from the scene of the crime when Dana Sitahal was assassinated. It came to me first because they couldn't find him. I will give Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago. Saturday, we will talk. We will talk. I had to relay the message because I was his communications advisor. Let me tell you otherwise. Let me tell you otherwise. And I don't want this to be here, you know. And Trinidad don't want this to be this nasty. But you know what happening? What's happening is we have done all this work building this political movement to give the people change. And this smoke and mirrors, this hoodwinking of the people, that is tomorrow Saturday, this hoodwinking of the people, we have palori and pies and soft drinks and water and Shiv Shakti dancers and Prophet Benjamin and other entertainment, fire breathers. We've been fanciness. I hear that a certain political party that letters could stand for not that ass went to the venue and put up flags so they could hoodwink people some more. And isn't that sad? Doesn't that just reek of desperation? That you not only not succeeding in your shit, you ought to come and try and ride what we doing. Sad.
This is a call to the nation. One by one, let's do it together. Let's be the change we want to see. Standing strong to any weather. Follow the light of the PEP. Cause we can build a better place for every creed in every race. Together we can triumph over anything we face. So one by one, two by two, we ready
tell you this also. I am going to expose next week the information on certain national security contracts that took place in this country. You have to understand that your taxes, Ministry of Works contracts, Ministry of Education, today outside St. Francois Girls' School, I asked, why they're not spending money of the $5 billion maintaining that school? Is it because the children from Belmont? Is it that because they're from there, no, they don't get treated like human beings, citizens of the country? And we put people to live in filth and degradation and despair. We wonder how we end up with crime. Crime causes crime. No, jackass. Mismanagement, mishandling, breaking people's will to be conscious, contributing members of society. That is what is causing crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Abject poverty. Food prices so far out of people's reach. A PNM and a UNC that rewarded the same food importers to keep people, the farmers, can't get a piece of land to farm on, despite the fact that Petrotrin, Clico, and Caroni sat on 90,000 plus acres of fertile farmland. The country does not have to be run this badly. And I have to tell somebody this today. How could every country in the world fix but Trinidad? How could? Nothing changes. And when Mr. Man could say, you see, he forgiven, right? He in a forgiving mood. But when he could say of the party that he is now a member of, because he had on a blue and a yellow shirt. But there was a Newsday article that spoke about Griffith told the committee that there was intelligence that the opposition, this is Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that he is forgiving now. I want you to hear this. This is when he was the commissioner. The commissioner 2 years ago is forgiving Kamla for this. Hear what he forgiving. Griffith told the committee there was intelligence. This is not we suspect. This is not it is alleged. There was intelligence that the opposition promised $42 million to criminals to be paid via 2 state contracts if they help the UNC opposition get back into power. During his time before the Joint Select Committee, Griffith said there was a man with a serious criminal record that appeared on a UNC political platform. Links between UNC politicians and gang leaders have proven to be the catalyst towards homicides in this country. So you're in a forgiving mood for a party that you say, when you were commissioner of police, that you had intelligence that said the UNC was spending $42 million. $42 million to be paid to criminals via 2 state contracts if they help the UNC get back into office. That's what you're going to enjoy. Where's your integrity? Was that a lie? Because you don't have the authority, Gary Griffith, to forgive criminal activity. Somebody telling me don't forget to save some for Saturday. This is the tip of the iceberg. I am going to share everything he said about them. But I am asking him, because he said, let me tell you what he said in his release that, what? Now the differences between those opposed to the PNM have been mended and it's going to remain cemented. Gary, you are cementing yourself, your wife, your children to a party that you said. And I want you not to hear that. Gary Griffith has cemented himself into an organization that he, Gary Griffith, told a joint select committee of Parliament that he had intelligence to the national security apparatus. Intelligence is fact, it is evidence. He had intelligence that the opposition, the UNC opposition, promised some $42 million to criminals to be paid via two state contracts. Gary, what was the money for? This is like the money that you say Rowley paid to lock up opposition people. You don't say these things without a shred of evidence. What was this $42 million that the opposition was giving these criminals? What was it for them to do? What were they to do with this $42 million, Gary? That you say that the UNC, that you are cementing yourself with, that they were capable. This is not email gate. This is not Section 34. This is the Commissioner of Police of Trinidad and Tobago, Gary Griffith. This is not a voice note with Gary and Jack Warner playing Jam Toti for Butternut, talking some shit, kill, 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 kill. This is not that. This is the Commissioner of Police telling a joint select committee, if he lie under oath there, he could be charged. He is saying that he had intelligence that Kamala Prasad Bissessa and her party were prepared to give $42 million to criminals for some reason, as long as they help the UNC get back into office. Links between politicians and gang leaders. He said there was a man with a serious criminal record that appeared on a UNC political platform. This is the same man who destroyed Anil and the others by his loose tongue. Because all these things that he say about people, Kamala, she just made her pool a dribble for 5 days. Every week she don't come out Rowley. Just be playing golf for 4 days. But it's just talk. And it is talk to benefit only him. He have a way to word it. Like, you know, it is your interest. But you can't be interested in the UNC because he interested in the UNC because he was more interested in the PNM, but the PNM fire him. His preference was the PNM. Gary wants you to help him get back at Rowley. That is what he's trying to do. And fooling you. Now I want to tell you this. I want the PNM to lose the election. But I want the Progressive Empowerment Party to win. I want the Progressive Empowerment Party to win the election. You see, tomorrow night we're going to have a massive public meeting in Diego Martin opposite Northern Hardware. And last week we had a massive public meeting in Center of Excellence. Not riding UNC votes, not riding UNC members, us alone. NTA can't pull a crowd in a maxi if the maxi come fall. He have nobody. There's nobody. Nobody's interested. He needs to stop talking shit. And I am not going to accept him trying to brand me as what he was. Gary is Rowley, man of business. And the two of them fall out. And I believe it was over Sabga. But we will deal with that Saturday. We will deal with that tryst on Saturday. But you have to understand, somebody that desperate is dangerous. Gary is a dangerous man because he wants to do anything to get back at Rowley, and he'll do anything to get into some kind of power. And that is dangerous, very dangerous to you. And if you read the Express today that talked about the Pandora's box of politics in this country, about the PNM and the UNC, that Gary was a part of both. The two PNM and UNC that the Express castigated today, that the Chief Executive Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce called people who are only interested in feathering their own nests. Gary was part of both of those parties. Both. He is a convenient hypocrite. He has two tongues in his mouth and they fight with each other. That is why when he was trying to bad talk me on the stage, God didn't let him spit out easily. He wanted to say that I practice hate. This is not hate, this is truth. In your mind, the truth must be hate. Because you must hate the truth. But it's truth. And the last time you jump out yourself and talk about me to the media had to run quick and pull that article and hide it. I have it still because it's going to be evidence in a court case. If Mr. Griffith does not apologize for his loose tongue, and if the Newsday doesn't apologize for embarrassing, disrespecting the political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, they will pay for their looseness. And we're not stopping, because we've come this far to not only come this far. We've stood up for the people in this country for a long time. Mr. Man say in his release, we're not talking about anything we do. You are a bullshit artist extraordinaire, Gary. I do so much for this country. I want to tell you, go, let your wife teach you. Go buy Tim Timal or Farhan or one of them and show you how to use, because you know you're not so savvy with the computer. Type hashtag Phillip will fix it. And you will see, because the reason we have a hashtag Phillip will fix it is so that we could publish a reminder for everybody to remember all the things that we fixed. The Progressive Empowerment Party has done more in this country than political parties who are paid to serve the people. And we want the opportunity to show what government could do. Today I walked in PNM constituencies and was promised that we will win. And I am happy to work with that. I want to tell you all something. Disavow Gary Griffith and his bullshit. Trying to tell people, PNM saying, I am packed with them. UNC saying, I are PNM. Well, wash out PNM, BNM team. The two of them panicking. The Progressive Empowerment Party have them on the run. A financier of the UNC tell me, people, the morning after that Wednesday night in Center of Excellence, huh? Pep so big, boy. I thought it was a one-man party. No CPAP workers like Kamala need to work with her councillors. No CPAP workers like Rowley need for his two-man motorcades. None. We don't have CPAP workers. No paid people. We can't pay nobody. We don't have contract mafia money. We don't have 1% financiers. Every dollar we spend, we just measure 3 times before we spend once. We just beg every day, all day. We have a team of people, whole day, all they do is begging. Monday night, we have a massive fundraiser this Monday. We have about 25% of the tickets left. Shobi Jason, and I'm going to give you Shobi's number now, because it's at Rizzoni's in Movie Town. We are having a nice dinner, good food, great conversation. It is dinner with the political leader. And if you would like to get tickets, it's a nice outing. Now, it is not cheap, but it is a fundraiser. So it is not me trying to be fancy. I mean, it fancy is a fancy event. I'm not fancy. I am still Phillip Alexander. Shobi's number is 680-1939. But we need to raise funds. We have 641 polling stations that we have to put polling agents in to spy, to make sure the PNM and the UNC and the EBC and everybody do not do what they did last time and try to hide our votes. This time, we're going and win. So we need to count every single vote. And each one of those 641 polling stations are going to get 2 personnel. That's 1,282 people that we have to pay for a day. And we have to feed them and move them around. So that is what Gary and them can do. He and Nicole could sit down in a maxi and sing, so blue, we feeling blue. but they can't actually run a political party. Things like this. This is what is involved in organizing your party. Being able to field candidates, being able to have walkabouts and cottage meetings and rallies, raise funds, pay for it, organize your polling agents, mobilize them, count your votes. These things, they can't do. But I want you to see us, brother. Just see us come in. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the people's party now. And that's why, ironically, when certain journalists wanted to get my goat, they will misread the name and they will call it the People's Empowerment Party instead of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And Janice Lemon Creaky would put out a release to the media saying the correct name is the Progressive Empowerment Party. But you know what happened? And God have a plan for everything. What happened was the people accepted that we were the People's Empowerment Party. And at the end of the day, PEP, this is what you're looking for. This little umbrella thing here, and this. Or you see the one people under one umbrella here, you see Progressive Empowerment Party. That's what you're looking for on the ballot. Vote well. Vote yourself a better country. Vote for Trinidad and Tobago, that we could put these political charlatans in our rearview mirror. And I want to tell you something, you know. There are countries in the world like Japan and the Netherlands that are closing down the prisons, that don't need more jails, that don't need more police, that don't need a police arms race, that don't need battling commissioners. We want the country to get to there. We want Trinidad to not be our police officers walking around with 30, 40, 50 pounds of gear and big gun. That anytime you squeeze that trigger, you kill about 16 people. We don't want that for them. Police job is to protect and serve, not to run down and kill. And we have to stop this militarizing of the country. We have to stop it. And the fastest way to stop it is the 1% contract mafia and their drug trade and their money laundering and anything else that they involve in that is contraband, that is illegal, that is against the rules of the country. Secure the borders of the nation. They couldn't do it, but we will. They couldn't do it, but we will. Secure the borders, make sure customs functions properly. They couldn't do it, but we will. Unstuff all the containers on the port so you can catch all the guns, not just some, not just take Harry on, but let William on pass. All, bust everybody through it, end it. So that all of them who shipping drugs to the world will have to pick another island to send it through, not Trinidad and Tobago. No, sir. No, sirree. The Progressive Empowerment Party, once the nation is secure, has said, we will set aside $40 million to give police officers a $1,000 bonus for every gun that they bring in that is an illegal gun that we can melt right there. Now, you know, they're not going to import guns to get $1,000 because a gun is 5, 6, 7. Some of them guns is $75,000. But if you get caught with an illegal gun, 6 months after that, there will be no amnesty. We will create a gun and drug court that will expedite you. We don't need no justice on time. Charge in the morning, you're in court in the afternoon. Trinidad and Tobago has to be run as a proper country for us to become a proper country. You can't plant mango and reap onion. We need to make Trinidad and Tobago first world and functional. We have all of the right reasons and all of the opportunities. And even if the oil and gas run out, because the rest of them don't know what to do and I have enough. We have enough plans, policies and people to make it happen that we don't even need the oil and gas sector. So if they panic in here, then they're going to run out. And the last thing I want to tell people about this election on August the 14th, where Rowley sent a message to say, after the local government, PNM still central government. That may be true. And that may frighten the UNC, who sitting on their ass. I can turn this off now. Who's sitting on their ass and can't get the job done. The Progressive Empowerment Party does. I told people in Belmont today, they said, Phillip, what would be the first thing you do? I said, August 15th, I will meet with all of my successful councillors and dispatch them to you to ask you, the stakeholders of the community, for the top 25 issues affecting your constituency. If you hear anybody else say this, they lie and they thief it. We're going to ask the stakeholders of each district, give us the top 25. Give us the top 25 issues affecting your district and in numerical order of importance so that we could make sure they'll be addressed. And yes, Rowley, you could withhold finance, but we'll sue your ass and we'll take you before any equal opportunity tribunal that is available. We'll take you before local and international courts. But we will also raise the funds ourselves and we'll embarrass the shit out of you. If I have to barbecue and curricue and Chinese to fix people road and bridge, they will laugh at you. We will fix it. And more importantly, the Progressive Empowerment Party will demonstrate the kind of government the country always knew, it always wanted, that it always needed. And we will guarantee the people of Trinidad and Tobago representation from the moment you elect our people, so that when we come back to you at general election time and ask you to give us the authority and the mandate to fix this country, you will do so willingly and lovingly. This is a time to go forward as one people under one flag. On August 14th, Trinidad and Tobago, please, save TNT, vote PE.
This is a call to the nation. One by one, let's do it together. Let's be the change we want to see. Standing strong to any brother. Follow the light of the PEP. Cause we could build
a better place for every creed and every race.
together. We triumph over anything we face. So one by one, two by two, we will be here for you.
on August 14th. Save TNT, vote PEP. I want to ask you for one more thing before I go. 7694590. Please write that number down. 7694590. That is Felicia Holder's number. Please call her, WhatsApp her, message her, and say you'd like to give $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $10,000, $20,000. We need help. We need to pay these bills. We need to give you the chance at a better country. Everybody telling you PEP winning the election. Side with them. Join the winning team. Help us. Come on board. Come on board. And if you can, if God has blessed you, if life has blessed you, if you're hearing my voice from outside and you wish you could have done something to rescue Trinidad and Tobago, rescue Trinidad and Tobago by blessing us and helping us. Make a donation. Call Felicia, 7694590. We need your help. And imagine how you would feel August 14th when you see the Progressive Empowerment Party win that you were a part of all of it. Come on board and help us. We need your help. We need your volunteering. We need your time. We need your prayers. Stand by us. Stand with us, because we will stand by and with you. Trinidad and Tobago, everything that we have, everything that we need, right now we have in our hands. We have the opportunity to have political power. For the first time, a proper political movement disconnected from the contract mafia. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago on August 14th, save TNT.